So you're here to learn how you guys can use Lavaloon at Town Hall 11. Well, this guide has got you covered. We're going to be talking about 3 different Lavaloon attacks, and we're also going to be teaching you guys how many loons and all this other stuff in terms of the Lavaloon. Let's go ahead and first start off with our key objectives. What are you looking for with any Lavaloon attack strategy at Town Hall 11? Well, you're primarily looking to get at least the CC and Queen and possibly the Eagle artillery. This is extremely important because without getting that, that's really going to spell some trouble, especially if, well, you're not going to be able to get it. So obviously with this attack, you really want to try and make sure to get at least the CC and Queen and getting as much other value as possible. This is going to include the Eagle artillery. If you do manage to get the Eagle, then that's going to be huge value on your part. But I would highly encourage with any Lavaloon portion, try to get the Eagle down. Now, the next thing is, how do you guys, or what specifically with the Lavaloon portion? So on the screen, you're going to see the number of loons that you're going to need per defense in order to take each of them out. This is going to be very dependent in terms of how the base is designed and also how many layers. So definitely try to stack a few more loons. We'll kind of explain that through each of the replays that we have here for you guys. But not only this, but we're also going to be kind of going over, spell placement as well. So that's definitely going to be with each of the different attacks. But that gives you guys sort of the idea with this attack strategy and in terms of how you guys can do the Lavaloon portion. So now what we want to try and do is kind of explain to you guys how you guys can use the Lavaloon with going into the first one, which is going to be the Suihiro Lavaloon attack strategy. So the first strategy that we have here for you guys is the Suihiro Lavaloon. Now, just to be warned, this example, it doesn't show you how you guys can deal with the CC, but trust me in this fact. Know that if there is a damage or an Electro Dragon CC, you want to bring at least either a Dragon in the Stone Slammer or an Electro Dragon in the Stone Slammer. If you're using this fresh, bring a poison. Don't bring 2 extra free spells. Bring a poison. Bring only 3 free spells. You don't need that many free spells with this attack. It's just really going to depend on the base, but I would encourage, bring a poison. If you're going to see a baby dragon or even an Electro Dragon CC, use it. It's really going to help you slow down the units and also prevent them from doing hefty damage to your Lalo portion. So, with this, specifically, you really want to try, and obviously, as I said at the beginning of the video, to get the CC and also, well, if possible, and the Queen and possibly the Eagle. Now, in terms of this base design here, the Eagle is a little bit harder to reach in terms of a Suihiro. Obviously, we can actually enter into here and get the Queen as quickly as possible. That's realistically why we want to use wall breakers and the Suihiro there. And then everything else, we want to use the Lavaloon portion. That's why we have the Stone Slammer. That's why we have 3 that's why we have 3 Lava Hounds. We also have 24 loons, and that's also why we have a bunch of freeze and haste spells. Obviously haste, of course, but definitely in terms of this attack, freeze spells are definitely going to be huge in terms of how you guys do this attack. Again, it's going to be very base dependent on the number of freezes that you would probably bring, but I would encourage that at least you guys bring maybe at least 2 or 3. It's going to vary slightly on the base, but usually most of the time you will be able to use the, just 2 free spells is usually fine, is what I'm trying to say. Now, in terms of this, let's talk about wall breakers and why wall breakers are really effective with this. 1 freeze would actually be used in order to get the wall breakers to actually break into the wall. This allows your Queen to have access to the enemy Queen in this case. Other than that, if you see the Queen that's literally on the outside of the base, it would actually be a very good idea to just use a Sui King or even a Sui Queen to get a lot of good value. Now, considering this, you got unlucky with that freeze and not getting that Inferno, but it was able to fix it on the fly, specifically using that Stone Slammer in that area in order to deal with it. Then we can have the Lavaloon portion moving in this way. The Grand Warden is going in with your Lavaloon portion. This is really where you want to try and make sure they stays in with them. The haste spells, as you see here, are being used primarily to get the loons right to those defenses as quickly as possible. In terms of the Grand Warden's ability, you want to use it in order to protect the number of your loons and possibly a hound, if possible, in order to get a lot of value. Now, not only this, but if we also consider you're bringing 3 lava hounds, be patient with your Lavaloon portion. You want to try and get as much down of the base. We obviously notice from here is that this was definitely a little bit more of an unlucky attack in terms of not getting enough value and also just being generally lucky, especially since almost the entire Lavaloon portion was taken out. So obviously this is definitely not a solid base design. He got very lucky towards the end of the attack. So obviously there are a couple things to sort of consider. So with this attack, you got to really make sure you take a look at the base and then also take a look at how the base is designed and all of that. In terms of spell placement and timing, making sure that you're staying vigilant about your Lavaloon portion with the haste spells. You don't want to use them all over the place. Make sure that you're either going to do one of two things. Send the Lavaloon portion in and then use the spells as necessary, or pre-placed haste spells. That's just going to be a few things that you may want to consider. Let's go ahead and jump into the next example we have for you guys, which is Queen Charge Lavaloon. Now, this base design right here is definitely different from the other one. However, let's sort of think about this in terms of a Queen Charge. We want to try and get at least 2 air defenses and getting as much other value as possible, including a multi-inferno. So if we consider this, where's the best possible area to jump in order to get the CC and also the Queen? Well, we can jump in right here, specifically because a jump exceeds this compartment size, meaning that we can just jump into the multi-inferno compartment with ease. And not only this, but we also want to try and get the air defenses. So in this example, this area with the 2 air defenses is actually going to be very, very easy to Queen Charge. All we have to do is let the Queen walk and get rid of those air defenses, and then she can jump into the base. That's going to be the thing with this attack. Now, before we actually consider this, we also want to make sure that we set the funnel. So we want to try and make sure that we're setting one side of the funnel and then the other side of the funnel in order for the Queen Charge to move into the base and get value. Now, in this example, it's unfortunate that you won't be able to get the Eagle Artillery, but as I said, if possible, if you can get the Eagle, then that's going to be a plus for you. Other than that, I wouldn't suggest, well, I guess I wouldn't suggest, but definitely it's going to be a little bit harder, but you should still be able to get through it. It's like more of an optional defense, but definitely trying to deal with the Eagle first is really important. That is definitely something that you want to consider when you guys are using the Queen Charge Lavaloon here at Town Hall 11. We can tell here from this attack is that getting rid of those air defenses are huge, like with any attack here. But specifically in this example, it's done very well. Making sure that you take a look at the base design to say, all right, what value can I get from the base with the Queen Charge? Are air defenses, or at least 2 air defenses, walkable? That is really going to give you a good sense of whether or not it may be a good idea to use the Queen Charge Lalo. Sometimes you just want to enter into the base, but other times you really want to try and be able to get as much value as possible from your Queen Charge before you actually start your Lavaloon. If we take a look at it, the rage being used over the Queen specifically to protect her as she goes into the CC, but not only that, but also going into the multi-inferno to keep her alive. Dealing with the enemy CC is not too difficult. Bringing a poison should easily be able to get it down. This is a good example of dealing with a damage CC. So as you move into the base, you want to try and deal with that Queen. This could mean popping the ability, and once you've done that, you should be able to start your Lavaloon once you've taken out that Queen. Next, once you're able to get rid of that Queen and stuff, it would now be time to start in your Lavaloon portion. Being very patient with this, you want to try and send in your loons and your stone slammer. Maybe you send in your stone slammer first, or maybe even last towards the back end, but then have your Lavaloon move through. You want the stone slammer, the loons, and also the lava hounds tanking and moving together into the base with just everything else in general. So you want the lava hounds to tank for as much as possible. This is really where you really want to try and use the Grand Warden's ability, because everything is all clumped up, meaning that it is going to be fairly difficult to, it's going to be fairly easy actually for the Eager Artillery, if it's still up, to rain damage onto all of those troops. Now you notice from the clan castle is that specifically a Electro Dragon was being used. The main reason why an Electro Dragon was used in terms of this example is that, well, the Electro Dragon can be used in a Queen Charge Lalo. It can be used as a CC troop. It's a very, very good troop, in fact, and definitely, I would highly recommend trying out bringing in some different CCs with your Queen Charge Lalo, whether it be loons or even an Electro Dragon or maybe even a dragon. So let's go ahead and show you guys the last example that we have here for you guys with any Lavaloon, which is going to be the Electron Lalo. In this last example, we have here for you guys the Electron Lalo. The Electron is a kill squad in terms of using the loons, the cloned loons, thanks to the clone spell, and also the Electro Dragon. Now, there is something else as well called a Yellowtron. Specifically, this is going to be very base dependent in terms of how close buildings are in comparison to everything else. On this base design, it could possibly work, but definitely not something that I would consider viable on this base design. However, a Yellowtron specifically means getting as much value as possible using 3 E-Drags and also a cloned E-Drag, meaning that you are going to try and you're trying to get a good chunk of the base, if not all the base out. I did showcase that strategy in a Town 11 base identification video on Echo's channel. Feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description, so feel free to check out that video. Now, with this attack strategy, we want to try and make sure that we can get rid of an air defense with the Sui hero and also set the funnel for the Electron portion. Now, you got to also be very careful on where traps are, especially Teslas, because you don't want the Stone Slammer to move out here and it gets no value from the Electron. However, instead of this, you've got to really kind of pay attention to areas like this, because they could really be very, very deadly in terms of this attack. It could really make or break it. Now, another thing in terms of this is that once we're sending it here and we clone the loons and the Electro Dragon, we're going to be able to take down that queen and then just leave the Electro Dragon alone unless it dies. If it doesn't die, then obviously you've already gotten yourself a very, very good Electron going through, since now you have an Electro Dragon either close to full health or even at full health to clear through the rest of the base. So that's sort of the thought process when you're using a Electron Lalo. Obviously, the Electron Lalo has 2 different portions, the Electron portion and the Sui hero along with the Lavaloon portion. The Sui hero portion specifically wants to get as much value as possible from the outside, while the Electron is trying to get as much possible value from the inside. So that is going to be your harmony with this attack. But as you can see, there is a Tesla there. So obviously, you really want to try and make sure to consider where Teslas are, because they can really make or break the raid and can 100% be very detrimental to really kind of using this attack strategy a little bit more effectively. I'm sorry about that. So as you're kind of going through different base designs here, dealing with the CC isn't too difficult with an Electron Lavaloon. And again, you can see a damage CC, not a problem. Now, in terms of this, Grand Warden going in with the Lavaloon portion, like always, keeping the loons protected, making sure that you're going to be able to protect the loons and also using the haste to get them right up through into those defenses is huge. Specifically, making sure that we can get as much value as possible, specifically from the lava or getting the lava hounds to tank as far as, you know, getting good value is specifically what I'm trying to say. But in order for that, another thing that's really important is maybe even trying to have the lava hound pop, because then that gives us more cleanup, and that in that case it will then allow us to get through the base a little bit quicker. So that's the idea. So that, guys, is going to be how you guys can use a Lavaloon attack strategy here at Town Hall 11, giving you guys 3 different Lavaloons and kind of gets you guys to understand it. With that being said, that's going to do it, guys, for the video. If you guys did enjoy, let me know in the comments below. And if you guys want to see another video like this, maybe even for Town Hall 9 or even Town Hall 12, I'll consider it, and it might come out. Also, feel free to join the North Watch Discord server. I'm leaving a link down in the description. Feel free to join that in order to join this clan family. If you guys want to join their Town Hall 12s in the North Watch, however, I don't know how exactly that works, but also feel free to also see if you guys can have what it takes to join the North Watch Rising, which is their non-all Town Hall 12 clan. Obviously, it's going to have some Town Hall 12s in there, but definitely a more mixed. Also, feel free to join my community Discord, which will be in the description, and follow me on Twitter at _CorruptYT. With that being said, that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.